I don't feel like I owe them anything because I have cause for eviction without the city coming in anyway. In the police report in Exhibit A, December 1st is when they had the place to themselves, and then we had a number of reports at the house. There was a couple of calls for shots fired. They don't have guns, but I think that Joy was intoxicated and breaking up my porch so loudly that the neighbors thought that guns were going off.
You feel that you had no obligation to them, even though you initially were trying to be
right.
Good Samaritan.
Exactly.
Judge Sawalda?
Well, let's get into that. So you evicted the friend who was supposed to do the work to the home, and then his father followed, and so the plaintiffs stayed. But before they moved out, what was this tension that you were sensing around October of 2021?
Oh, well, there was a lot of tension between the son and this couple here. They were just living in a small space. Mm-hmm. She was saying that the son was hitting on her, and there was just a lot of, drama with that.
Ms. Dempsey, how did you know the friend?
I actually met him through Facebook.
Okay.
And we were friends for a while, and he told me that he was redoing a home, and he asked us, did we want to, be their roommate? And I asked him, are you sure you okayed it with the landlord? Is everything okay? They said, yes, everything's fine. I asked, I know at least 3 or 4 times.
And Mr. Craig and all, it was my understanding that he knew that that guy was offering to sublet to us, and that the reason is because he was taking the rent money and using it to buy materials and stuff to repair the property with. So I was anxious to pay him rent every month so we could hurry up and get this house fixed.
Now, you talked about, Ms. Dempsey, having to get gym memberships to take showers. What were you doing before you met?
I had to get a gym membership to take a shower. I had one when I was homeless prior to moving in.
Okay.
I had one, and then once I moved in, I canceled that gym membership. Once we were evicted, I had to go obtain a storage unit for my belongings and a gym membership to take showers, and I have receipts for both of those.
Okay. Judge Juarez?
So I'm curious about the defendant's claim that essentially there was cause to evict separate from what the city determined about the location. And I do see this list of quite a few police calls to the property.
His daughter was the tenant staying behind us. She was a good friend of ours as well. Once her and I had a falling out, she made false police calls, like the one that stated that we were breaking up his porch. Actually, the gate was ripped off by police because his daughter called the police and falsely said that we were shooting at her. And they swarmed our house, pulled us out of the house at 10 o'clock at night with guns on us.
Mr. Craig, have you talked to your daughter about this incident?
Yes.
Does she in fact live at the property right behind the plaintiff?
Yeah, she does.
And what did she tell you about that particular incident?
She said that they were all intoxicated. She got angry and she left the premises. And then other neighbors. You can see that there are 2 calls, duplicate calls for shots fired. And also, let me note that what happens is there's just alcohol involved. Before that, you can see on the 5th, there was 5150. I think Joy had too much to drink and she was away in jail or someplace. And then it started back up when she got back out on the 11th. So every time that, alcohol and Joy were together, we got a police call.
But I'm also interested in why there weren't any incidents prior to December, because you lived there for several months prior to December.
Right. It was right when we were getting ready to leave. We knew when my friends moved out, his daughter and I also had a falling out over that. But him saying that I was in jail, I was never in jail. Actually, all the stress and tension from his daughter, telling me that her and my husband were sleeping together, and that it was a bunch of crazy stuff going on. I just had a mental breakdown, and I tried to kill myself because of it, and that's how I got 5150.